for the first time ever told. Every great legend starts with a dream. One of the first to innovate the art of impersonation. It is time to let the world know Phoenix. An American dream made in Brooklyn. Discover the man behind the true Phoenix. But no success story is without hardship or tragedy. His life, his journey, his story.
Phoenix Rising,
A film documentary. "1964 was an infamous year of triumph and tragedy for American pop culture. After newly appointed President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963.
Assembled in a new building to be built at Cape Canaveral.
Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. received the Nobel Peace Prize for his contributions to the civil rights movement in the United States. This did not stop the violence that continued to increase in many American cities while abroad. Equal rights leader of the anti-apartheid struggle in South Africa, Nelson Mandela, and 7 others are sentenced to life imprisonment.
Basis of one man, one vote. They want political independence.
The World's Fair of 1964, held in New York City, showed great promise with its Peace Through Understanding theme, while the world of boxing was knocked to its knees when the young, talented boxer Cassius Clay, better known to the world as Muhammad Ali, became the world heavyweight champion, beating Sonny Liston. That same year, the Fab Four from Liverpool took the world and America by storm as Beatlemania swept the nation. Hailed as the British Invasion, other groups from the UK, including the Rolling Stones, also found tremendous success in the United States. Along with the American talents of Motown's premier all-female group, The Supremes, and folk singer-songwriter Bob Dylan, with his classic hit, "The Times They Are A-Changing." 1964 became known as one of the greatest years in music history during the last century. It is in the historical Bedford-Stuyvesant section of Brooklyn, New York, with its 19th century landmark brownstone buildings, that the story of Phoenix begins.
Hi, I'm Phoenix, and I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, Bedford-Stuyvesant. And this is my story.
Born May 9, 1964 in Brooklyn, New York, Arthur Phoenix, the youngest of 8 children, was born to Charles Frank and Mary Phoenix. As a child, Arthur was remarkably different from his siblings since birth, and was visibly steps ahead of the learning curve as he developed. Always inquisitive, sometimes demanding, feisty, and a natural-born leader, it was evident then that young Arthur Phoenix was destined for greatness. Nicknamed Baby by his oldest sister, Rosalind, Runt by his oldest brother, Charles, and Phoenix by his peers, Phoenix had many friends and was well known throughout his neighborhood. He did well in school, but was often caught daydreaming because he found the fundamentals of elementary education to be boring while his mind raced with creativity. Determined to create a world around him that would feed his hungry ambition, Phoenix found his niche in music and entertainment. Phoenix's second oldest sister, Jackie, who is 10 years his senior, was a big Teen Idol fan and would often read her teen magazines, such as Right On and Black Stars, aloud to her little brother, which sparked even more interest for him. Phoenix, along with other members of his family, would often sing, dance, and perform for each other. Sister Jackie and oldest brother Charles were the strongest singers in the family and would often duet like they were Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. Even though their parents were separated in the late 60s, their father, whom everyone called Frank, was a big music lover and would always bring the latest 45 records for the family to enjoy when he visited every weekend. As most children living in the urban city ghettos, he too has endured his own personal pain and suffering as a child. On a hot summer day in the early 70s, Phoenix's parents signed him up for the community summer camp program, where he befriended a stranger who took advantage of his trust. This was the same stranger that had sexually abused him. Phoenix has made it a conscious effort to fight for children's freedom and rights. And in Phoenix's words, children's lives do matter. No child should ever have to be abused or suffer. It was on the fateful evening of December 14, 1969, when young Phoenix witnessed history as he watched the debut of the Jackson 5 on The Ed Sullivan Show.
Here's the youthful Jackson 5, opening with a medley of their hits that have sold over 1 million.
He knew right then what he wanted to do with his life: be a great entertainer. From that moment on, Phoenix spent timeless hours practicing and honing his craft of singing, dancing, and performing like he was one of the Jackson 5 himself. In Phoenix's words, "No one was studying Michael Jackson at that time like I was. I watched and could remember every performance I saw of the Jackson 5 on TV, because back then, there was no internet, DVD, or VCR. Dancing in the streets and at school, Phoenix became so well known and popular that he would often get chased home from school by mobs of young girls who were fans of him."
When I was a little guy growing up in Brooklyn, New York, I had this group called the Action 5 because we were so influenced by the Jackson 5, we wanted to be just like them. So I would enter all of these talent shows to be just like the little Jackson 5. We would sing and dance. And all of the local people in my town of Bedford-Stuyvesant, New York, they would ask me to do shows for block parties, Sweet 16s, even school talent shows. And I would get chased home by these kids from school because all of these little girls would run because they would think that I was Michael Jackson, because I would emulate him and dance and sing like him so well that they thought we were the Jackson 5. And I tell you, to this day, it's so funny because I look back and those memories I would never trade for anything in the world. Hey, thank goodness for the Jackson 5.
Bedford-Stuyvesant was like the Motown of Brooklyn. So many creative artists came from there. Everyone from old school to new school. Lena Horne, Eddie Murphy, Spike Lee, Mike Tyson, Stephanie Mills, Chris Rock, Jay-Z, and many others. These were the same peers and neighbors that he grew up around, which came from the same soil. And Phoenix was always proud to be a Brooklynite. With the release of Michael Jackson's Thriller album in 1982, which in less than a year became and still is the best-selling album of all time, sparked a new craze of Michael Jackson lookalikes who tried to be everything Jackson.
Oh gosh, I'd probably be a weeping willow because of some of the nasty things that people have said about me.
Phoenix, who had been developing his impeccable Michael Jackson moves for over a decade, zoned in on this momentous opportunity to display his talents before a larger audience, and started entering every dance and lookalike contest he could find in all 5 New York City boroughs. The newly acquired Michael Jackson fans could not compete against New York City's #1 impersonator, Phoenix, who won first place in every contest he entered, including at the famed Apollo Theater in Harlem.
The first time I had the opportunity to meet Michael Jackson and the Jacksons was in New York at Madison Square Garden in 1984 during the world's famous Victory Tour.
Phoenix achieved instant success as a professional Michael Jackson impersonator, and the demand for him increasingly grew. He started working with agents and talent buyers throughout the New York metropolitan area and began performing at some of New York City's hottest nightclubs in the 80s, including Studio 54, the Palladium, Danceteria, and a slew of others headlining, and as an opening act for other artists such as New Edition, Ashford and Simpson, Melba Moore, Kashif, Fats Domino, comedians Red Fox, Sinbad, and many more. Phoenix's incredible talents have taken him all over the world, performing on talk shows, music festivals, charity fundraisers, and corporate events, both nationally and internationally. While he was working almost non-stop every weekend performing, an unfortunate tragedy struck the Phoenix family. His sister Jackie had become strung out on drugs as the family tried to step in many times and intervene. On the eve of March 22, 1987, during a heated argument between Jackie and their father, it escalated and caused his sister to become enraged from the intoxication of the drugs. In a fit of anger, she fired a fatal gunshot wound that took the life of their father. During the early morning hours after one of his many late-night performances, Phoenix came home to their Brooklyn apartment, where he received the sad news from his wife, Christine.
Truly, I have to say it's probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do within our relationship.
The death of their father shattered the core of the family deeply.
It's something that most people would never want to forgive. This is the first time I ever spoke about it, ever, on camera, and it hurts to think about it, but we learn to forgive.
As they struggled to heal and forgive, but they will never forget. It wasn't long before lightning came and struck the Phoenix family once again.
All I can hear that night when my mother called me and let me know what was wrong, I will never forget the sound of her voice, just screaming and yelling, saying, "He's dead, he's dead, he's dead."
Only 9 months later, on December 31st, 1987, New Year's Eve, drugs took the life of his brother Stephen, who died in his mother's bathroom of an overdose.
I will never forget that sound in her voice.
Phoenix, who has never done any drugs, drank alcohol, or smoked any substances of any kind, to this day remains completely anti-drug.
One thing I can say about my husband Phoenix is that he is truly anti-drug, and he does make it a life commitment to really help people because he knows and has witnessed it and experienced it firsthand, the devastating effects that drugs have on people and their lives.
With the successful release of Michael Jackson's Dangerous CD in 1991, and after attending the Oscars with the King of Pop, Madonna suggested that Michael get a new look. On May 20th, 1991, Phoenix was chosen by Madonna and her styling team to be the Michael Jackson model for television's Fox-style news makeover. By the mid-90s, Phoenix felt he wanted more as an entertainer and could no longer live in the shadows of his all-time idol, Michael Jackson, and it was time to make and set his own path. Before he could walk away from the stage and spotlight, Phoenix gave one last final performance as the King of Pop on March 9, 1996, for Joan London of ABC News and her family. Phoenix has traveled his share of weathered roads in his personal life and overcame great obstacles. The essence of true Phoenix spirit is a force that is unbreakable. He has triumphed over every pain and hardship he endured with his warrior spirit and never say never attitude as he pressed forward to a greater destiny.
I am the true Phoenix.
Foraging a new life in entertainment, Phoenix relocated to sunny Phoenix, Arizona, to be closer to abundant opportunities in Hollywood and Las Vegas, as he went behind the scenes, managing and operating his own public relations firm, working with major corporations, record labels, and film companies worldwide.
Coming from out of the entertainment industry, when I was emulating Michael Jackson as an impersonator, that took me around the world. Starting the PR company, that was something that opened a whole new door for me.
Using his years of expertise, Phoenix worked with such prestigious clients as the Jacksons, Smokey Robinson, BET's 20th anniversary, So Def Sports Management, Pokemon the Movie 2000, the 1998 Billboard Music Awards, and many others. He also began more rewarding charitable endeavors with children and education in numerous cities, working with several political dignitaries and leaders who have bestowed upon him proclamation awards for his success and outstanding work and dedication to those communities. Phoenix, a former spokesperson for the Jackson family, has also managed one of the famous Jackson brothers, Tito Jackson. Seeing the potential and diversity in Tito Jackson as a performer, Phoenix is responsible for helping to pioneer Tito's solo career and launch him as a blues artist. Phoenix has been interviewed by the media in various news outlets around the world regarding his professional commentary and expertise in the entertainment industry. Yearning to perform once again, in the late 2000s, Phoenix created, produced, and starred in his stage production show, The Dancing Machine Revue, tribute to Michael Jackson and the Jacksons, as his way of paying homage to the ones who inspired him most as a child. Phoenix feels that the spirits put his good friend, Smokey Robinson, in his path, not by coincidence, but by purpose, that their souls connected with one another to meet.
When I think of Smokey Robinson, I think of happiness, love, joy. I am blessed to have that man in my life because we formed a friendship and a bond that is like no other. The very first moment I got the chance to meet Smokey face to face, it was a whole new turning point in my life. This man has been there. He's been not only just a friend, but he's been a father, and I consider him my spiritual brother. And our friendship I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. One particular story that comes to mind is when I met this woman who was a hospice patient. She was a big Smokey Robinson fan, and she said she would do anything. They had seen him when she was healthy, but she never had the opportunity to. So I never told this woman, but I went and got an actual autographed photo from my good friend Smokey. Brought tears to her eyes and brought so much joy to her. And at that particular time, that woman was so happy that she was able to pass away without any more suffering and pain.
Phoenix is highly acclaimed as an author of 3 successful books, a music historian, and an expert in the field of entertainment. Phoenix has traveled the globe in promotion of his books and has been interviewed by news media outlets nationally and internationally. Phoenix has made numerous contributions and has been highly commended for his success and outstanding work and dedication to the local community and organizations nationwide. Phoenix Rising, Life's New Beginning, is Phoenix's masterpiece book that has changed the lives of so many people.
Phoenix is phenomenal. He's great. His speech and book changed my life.
By helping them find the key to unlocking their fears.
How to unlock my personal fears.
And transcending their power into positive living.
Transcending that into what I call living by positive example.
He taught me so much, and also he still supports me. And he, in my entertainment goals and my music goals.
First time I attended one of Phoenix's seminars, it just brought everything from an illusion into reality. It just brought everything from my personal inner strengths just to the top. It just unlocked everything for me.
I feel that right now, at this time in my life, I'm on a different journey. This journey has taken me to a far place to where not even the mind can even imagine.
Phoenix's own talk radio show has been a successful medium of progressive, open-minded, and informed topics affecting our society. Phoenix has volunteered his time and efforts for many worthy causes, especially for those in need and children with health challenges in hospitals and medical facilities around the world. Phoenix continues his journey as a motivational speaker and life coach.
On the spiritual level, I was blessed to be able to lay my hands upon people and change their life. And what I wanted to do is introduce them to a whole new way of living.
By coming more spiritually and getting ourselves together, we have to take total control today. It is time to grasp it and become one. We got the power, but without the power, we cannot move forward. All we have to do is believe in ourselves by taking that chance, by doing what we need to do, by coming together, by being one. But I need you to help me with this. We have to be in control, because it is now to take back the power for who we are as one.
by inspiring others with his invaluable words of insight and wisdom at his seminars, on his internet talk radio show, and other forms of social media. Currently, Phoenix's mission is to spread consciousness and awareness to people of all ages and nationalities worldwide by enlightening and educating everyone with his superb speeches of encouragement and inspiration. In Phoenix's words, "I want to continue to be the voice that leads many for so very few that can't speak, and the echo that carries the words of the great leaders that have left their legacy for mankind." Today, Phoenix and his wife, Christine, enjoy spending as much time as possible with family, especially their first granddaughter, who brings greater joy, purpose, and meaning to their happy lives.
Our parents always instilled in us to remain close as brothers, and that I am my brother's keeper.
Our parents always gave us love and taught us to stay strong as a family because we are all we have.
One thing I can tell you is he will never stop. You know, his spirit is going to and shall always live on forever. Just like a true phoenix.
Love overconquers the divorce.
And love conquers everything. Love conquers all.
When they thought that I was over and that I never rise again, when they said that I was through, I'm finished, it's my end. Living in someone else's shadow, identity for me was blurred. Tried to find my place in a broken world, never given a chance. Stop trying, you'll never get a chance.